okay with you, I was hoping to maybe get a tour of your premises because they're so interesting looking.
Yeah, the hall and stuff, you film that over. But you can't go inside the sanctuary, you can't film the sanctuary. Okay. So you're going to film about what you needed to film. We need to get down to the serious business of what we're about. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, we didn't really shoot. Is that okay with you?
Did y'all shoot the hallway? Y'all shot that?
Well, we didn't really shoot it. I guess what I was maybe thinking is we saw a little bit of the hallway, not very much. We didn't shoot close-ups, and also we didn't really understand the significance of the different images.
Well, the significance of them is that the people were black. The Jews and the Christian Israelites were black. The Christians are the Jews. Okay? The first followers of Christ was called, they were Jews. And they were called followers of Christ. That arose the name Christians. So the Christians and the Jews are synonymous. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
and they're black. History shows that, archaeology shows that, the Bible shows that. All over Europe, in England, in the British Museum, if you went in there. In Westminster Abbey, the rulers of England were Israelites. The word British means covenant man. That's a Hebrew word, British. Anglo-Saxon, angel sons of Isaac. When you do research on it, you find that out. See, these things have been covered up through lies, through false teachings in colleges, schools, and churches.
So, you don't take this as personal offense. You must understand, there's thousands of organizations that you can try to interview on a global level, and they all have their set standards of certain things that they do that they don't. Now, the reason that we won't let you on the temple, number one, this is a high holy day. This is the Sabbath. The Sabbath is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. When the sun goes down tonight, it ends. So the reason that we won't let you go in the temple to film that, although we know that the CIA, the FBI, and other British armed forces have photographs of the inside of this temple because they have came here secretly in their photographs. We happen to know that for a fact. We have a surveillance, a secret so that you can't see with the naked eye. They come into this temple, they have filmed it, and they were hoping they could find some sort of ignorance or something wicked or filthy where they could throw dirt in our face on a global level to the media, or something where we were breaking the law on some level and they found nothing. We consider the temple to be sacred, and that's the only reason that we told you that we really didn't want to film. We would let you possibly get a glimpse of it with your eyes. To look at it. We really would not want to film it because it's considered sacred. It's, this is a wicked world that we live in. But we try to make that as holy as we possibly can. Plus, there are people in their families, children, so on and so forth, being taught on the Sabbath day the laws of God. And those that are for their first time coming to the church, which we have countless numbers of members, they are learning Hebrew. So there's a Hebrew class on it. They're being taught Hebrew. And they're being taught the original Hebrew, which is classified by your scholars as Aramaic, which is really the wrong term. It's the wrong word that they're using. They call it Aramaic because it doesn't look like Assyrian writing. And you seem to be, at least you appear to have some intellect concerning historical facts. I think, I don't think that they would send an ignorant person into interviews. I think that they would send someone that has some knowledge of certain things in order to precipitate an intelligent conversation concerning the facts that we wish to bring forward.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Yes, we're not here to bite your head off or to attack you or to make threats against you. We're simply here we're not the KKK.
Yeah.
We're not the Ku Klux Klan. We haven't burned the cross on anyone's lawn. We're not hanging people in the woods and things of that nature. It's not, we are not advocating for anyone to go out and commit violence against you want to sit on the floor, you can.
Yeah.
You want to levitate your body in midair, go ahead. You know, just, yeah.
So when you're ready, please, when you come,
What you're looking at around the ceilings is the archaeology all over the world in different churches, different cathedrals, in Russia, in Spain, in Germany, in France, all over the world, the different archaeology of the images of Christ, the icons of Christ, what Christ looked like, okay, and what different disciples and so on look like, and what rulers of Russia look like. That's Boris and Gleb over there, the sons of Vladimir in Russia. In that picture there with two cakes coming down.
do you think we could just stop and start again from Luke?
Yes.
Because I think Luke would like to sit down, but we just want to.
Yeah.
Maybe Luke, we could just pick up from the instructions, because I think we really talk about it. Explain why you're here.
Yeah. Okay. So should I sit down?
But why don't you, I mean, if you.
Well, you're going to be standing on your feet a while. You can sit
I'll
down.
ask you, Carl.
Now, make yourself comfortable. Let me just pretend you're with in front of 10 copies.
May I sit down?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what those seats are there for. You can all sit down if you choose.
Well, shall we?
And I want to reiterate the fact that all of these icons that you see, what actually said, are different icons from all over Europe, not just Russia, but all over the world, concerning the validity and the ethnic background of Christ and his people, and the rulers of Europe for the past 1,000 years that were classified as the Dark Ages.
May I start by introducing myself?
Sure.
Yeah, my name is Louis Theroux. I work for BBC Two in Great Britain, and I'm making a show in which I'm sort of travelling through the, I guess, the black community in New York, but specifically members of the black community who are trying to uplift black people, ranging right across the board, ranging right across the board from Reverend Al Sharpton to more sort of religious groups such as yourselves.
Well, that's quite understandable. And believe me, we are aware of the fact that the media is a controlled entity on a global level. No matter who they send out to interview us. Freedom of the press is really a joke. When freedom of the press only goes so far. When it gets back behind closed doors, and those that are in power, that are sitting down smoking cigars and drinking coffee, then you find out where your freedom stands, because the media is a controlled entity. Those that have researched it would know this. Those that have not researched this would not know. And we also know for a fact that we have been classified in this country as a black supremacist or hate group. Let me make something perfectly clear. Black supremacists or white supremacists or any supremacist hate group, they have certain criteria that they follow. They go out and they kill people, or they steal things, or they have other things that they do that are wicked to boost their image. We have not went out and killed anybody. We're not. I just want to make this clear, because we know this is what's circulating. We're not a hate group. We're not a so-called black supremacist group. We're a so-called, and I emphasize the word so-called, religious spiritual group that believes totally, wholeheartedly in the Bible. We believe that we are the people of the Bible according to the research and archaeological facts that we have found, and from the bibliography that we have researched, and from the world traveling that we have done. We've been all over the world. We constantly travel all over the world. And the only time you come and see Christ as a
on-duty this Ghanaian immigrant was gunned down by the New York Police Department, which has raised awareness a bit, and obviously it's a terrible thing. Are you doing anything, are you involved in that at all? Are you doing anything to help with the sort of, the conditions in which black people are in New York?
Yes, we're trying to wake them up to who they are.
Yeah.
So all these things are happening because they were prophesied that they would happen to us, because we're being punished for breaking the laws of God. See, the Israelites and the Jews are the people that's throughout the Americas that you call blacks, Puerto Ricans, West Indians, Indians on the reservations. They have archaeology records that prove that. They have records in this society that prove that.
So that's
Plus, there are Israelites scattered in Africa, Jews scattered in Africa, all around the world, in Europe. Okay? That's what we are basically interested in, what God is talking about. The things that are happening to us in the system, hey, that's not the only thing that's happening. Many others have been killed. See, this ain't the only man who's been killed. A lot of us have been killed. It hurts us to see this happen to our people unjustly. But we have to wake up as a people to what God is talking about, because Christ is getting ready to come and destroy this world. All the governments on this world are going to be destroyed. And a new government is going to be set up on this earth. And this government is called the government of Israel, according to the Bible. The Israelites are going to be set up on this earth over all nations. All nations are going into slavery. They have not been teaching the Bible, but the Bible has definitely been coming out. The prophecies in the Bible have been coming out, steady coming out. That's been proven already.
May I ask something? One of the issues I'm interested in, or I guess one question I'm seeking to answer is whether as a white person there's anything I can do to help the situation by reaching out to black people, by stopping the duty case and just building bridges.
I can answer that by saying this. First of all, I want to get you to have a clear understanding on how this church operates.
Yeah.
There's a misconception that circulates on a global level, particularly about this institution here, that we judge people by the color of their skin. Nothing is further from the truth. We have people within our organization that look just like you.
Really?
Yes, really.
Is that true? Seriously?
I wouldn't be telling you this. Some of them are sitting on the other side now, I'm sure that you might be able to know.
Can I meet them? Can we meet them?
You can meet them, but let me finish saying. I'm going to get to you. Let me explain this in further detail.
Yeah.
We're not judging people by the color of the skin. This is a misconception and an evil that has been spoken about us for the last 30 years. If we were to judge people by the color of their skin, we would not make it ourselves. Our nation is a diverse nation that's referred to in the Bible as a speckled bird. In other words, we come in many different colors and shades. You're not being judged by the color of your skin, but by the seed of your father. In other words, a guy can come through that door, looking identical to you, look like you're twin. We're looking at my face value ignorantly and say, that's a white man, get out of here, we don't want him. It doesn't work, we say, we don't want you here. No, it doesn't work that way. If you can prove that your ethnic lineage, that your lineage is that of one of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to your father's side, not your mother. Because, see, a woman doesn't get a man pregnant. A man gets a woman pregnant. In other words, a man carries the seed. The woman is like the earth. The man plants the seed in the earth, and the woman brings it forth. Whatever that man plants in the earth, that's his. I don't care if you look like Bill Clinton. If you are one of the 12 tribes of Israel, you are our brother regardless of the color of your skin or the texture of your hair. Because we're going to have people, we have them now, that look just like you and look just like her. But they're Israelites, they're not Edomites.
So do you have a chart breaking down who are the 12 tribes?
Yeah, the scriptures and records, archaeological records and all that, scriptures.
Maybe that's something you can
Yeah, because Israel's cast all over. Give me Isaiah 11:11. But I'm going to say this.
that day, the Lord shall send again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
The ensign is the 12 tribes where the 12 tribes are. See, those are the records of who the 12 tribes are.
And gathered together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Because Israel and Judah scattered all over this planet Earth. The reason why we say Israel and Judah, the kingdom of Israel was split up into two parts. The kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. Do you know anything about this history? The Assyrian Empire took them in captivity. And some broke loose out of the Assyrian Empire and went and set up Spain, set up Britain. The original British, the original Spanish were black Hebrew Israelites. Their images, that's why the images is all over Europe. And the kings. And if you go on Westminster Abbey, you see the images of the kings. Everything in there is black. Even the ones they try to wipe down, you can see the color on the hands, on the side of the face. Go on there sometime. Listen to what I'm saying. This is in the British Museum also. And it's in Westminster Abbey in London.
Have you been to it? Because I used to go to
Yeah,
it.
we went there, yeah. And we
Yes,
filmed
inside.
it. We filmed everything inside.
Yes, it's
Did you enjoy your time in Britain?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Not only in Britain, in Rome, see, they got the images, the black images in the Vatican City. On the door as you come in. Of the disciples.
Who
and
was
of
the
the
Lord's
Jews.
rule?
And Peter came to the statue of St. Peter's Basilica in Italy. Okay? Sitting on a throne. And they come in and kiss his feet. And he's black. In the first session, they showed you some of the pictures. And we'll show you again. These pictures is over with. And they showed you some of the videotape on it.
You know what? We should have done this first. Because may I introduce myself and then you? Because we didn't get your names either.
All right. My name is,
My name is Louis Thaahwam. I work for BBC Two in Britain. I'm making a documentary about black self-empowerment groups here in New York, and also seeing how I, as a white person, can maybe help, and get involved. And I'm very pleased to meet all of you.
yeah, very pleased to meet you, but we're not a self-empowerment group. We are children of Israel, according to God and Scriptures. We follow God in the Bible and Christ, so there don't be no misunderstanding of that.
Yeah.
We're not linked up with any other group out here. The group that we're linked up with is the Bible, the Israelites, our foreparents in the Bible, and Christ, and God's Word. I want to specify it so that it be crystal clear.
Does that
Now, my name is High Priest, Chief High Priest Ariel.
My name is Chief High Priest Yeshai. As I stated earlier, there are four of us Chief High Priests that run this entire nation under Christ. We are the elders, you understand? And we've been doing this for a very long time. And we've traveled the world. As a matter of fact, within the next month and a half, we're going overseas again. We're going to the Middle East, Europe, whatever. And to bring back more history and facts. I have a book in my hand here. One of the top scholarly books in this country called Oxford. You know about Oxford University, right? You know Bill Clinton was educated there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, looking at myself.
All right. So you're not a dumb man. It's evident that you have some form of intelligence. The Oxford Illustrated History of, I want to make this clear, this on camera very clear. This is not a book that I said in a room to print. Your people print. I want to make this clear. Your Caucasian scholars painstakingly printed this book. All of the images that are in this book were put in this book from archaeological records and literature that has been hidden from not only the British public, but on a global level, all of the international communities and the worldwide public. This is only Secretary House stated earlier that the original rulers of England and Britain were black, which sounds nuts to you. That sounds insane to you. You can't sit there and tell me that that doesn't sound like a bunch of hogwash to you. You would think that we're on crack by telling you this because you have not been educated on it. But now that you tell me that you have went to Oxford, I beg to differ with that. You probably do know this. Because in Oxford, they have all of this information. And they teach you not only to absorb this information, but to keep your mouth shut about it. Now, I want to say this. I want to show you one thing that he's going to come in this book. In this book on page 266, it shows a day's business in the court of the king. Now, this is in 1420, when blacks were still in power in England. Black British royalty, so you can understand. A day's business in the court of the king consisted of, look up. I want the cameraman to get in very close to this. I wish I had. May I come up? Sure, you can come up and have a look with your own 2 eyes.
Should I get
Yeah,
that?
come on. I want you to look at this. We can take this all the way back to.
May I come up?
Yes, sir. Yeah, come up and look at it. I want to point out significant facts.
It's more friendly.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to attack you. We're not sharks. I want you to look at this. You can see he's a black man sitting here. You don't need a telescope to see him. You have your glasses on. He's a black man. You see the British emblems here.
Yeah.
You see the court officers here are black. Although the scholars try to whiten some of their faces up, this is a part of the game that they use to cover up history. The Bible tells us that. You see the black court officers here. You see the prosecutors sitting here. You see prisoners being led before the white men. Look at these guys. Red hair, dark hair, like Italian. One guy doesn't have a shirt on. These are white men. Prisoners, white men being led by black men in front of black men, in front of black Supreme Court justices being pronounced guilty. Their feet are shackled, chained. And this is in England. All of this information came from the British Museum, from Westminster Abbey, from Windsor, from all of these places in England.
I don't know, that's kind of borderline.
No, wait a minute, there's no borderline there. See, this is another, stop right there.
Borderline.
This borderline.
This, you're not going to sit there and trick me with a trick answer that this is borderline, because I know.
Is that borderline? Look.
That one is,
Stop. You're not going to tell me that you can look at, you're looking at this picture here.
That's not borderline.
You're not going to tell me
that one is
wait a minute, no, it's not borderline. Look at it again. Look. See this guy here? Wait a minute. You're looking at a guy here, and when you use X-ray photography, by the way, you can see the black faces underneath these images. I've done it. I've used X-ray photography in my research. Now, you're not going to tell me that these brown-faced men, brown-faced guys, you're not going to sit there and tell me that these that these judges are not black, because they are. You're looking at it, but see, being an Oxford student, a member of a university that's known globally as an illuministic university, of part of the New World Order, it's your job to deny what you see.
I'm happy to...
No, but what I'm making clear to you, it's your job to come in here and ridicule and deny facts. That is your job. You're trained that way. You can come and say, if you see a black person, you say, well, I can't make it out. But if you see a white guy, you can make that out. There's no problem. It's not borderline.
No, that one's black.
No, but these guys are black too. We got people that are in our organization that look just like these guys.
I don't get the name of this.
Now,
So the name of this book, Knights and Medieval England.
right.
In the front it says this. In the front of this book it says this. This book examines the actual position and role and image of the knights within English society. So this ain't no lie.
No, I'm good with that.
That's crystal
The
clear.
reason he's having a problem is because he doesn't understand the cover-up and the whitewashing that has been done to the icons for the last 500 years, not only in the United States, but throughout Europe. There's been a cover-up system to deny blacks their true heritage in history. For 1,000 years, black men controlled Europe.
Can I say, I'm happy to go with, can I say that I'm happy to go with that, the fact that Jesus probably looked more like you than
No, what about the British though? What about the British?
fact, but I say it's like,
What about the British men, black?
and the apostles will give you, and
This is
be
an
natural,
image.
but I don't know about,
This is an image of what British please up. That's an image of the first early British. Europeans. If you look at it, you read, see what it's saying?
Barry Fell's Celt. According to Fell, this is a man of obvious European origin, the image of a Bronze Age Brick, source Bronze Age.
No, is he a white man or is he a black man?
He looks,
No, you can't lie.
that's good.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's good.
You can't lie about that.
What about King Alfred?
This is in a book called African. Listen, this is African presidents and early Europe.
But you know, I mean, I think that,
Hold on a minute.
what about, can we agree that, can I give you Jesus and the apostles and we'll just, can we just leave?
You're not
No, we have to go to all the facts. We
You're not
cannot
really giving us
agree.
anything.
We cannot agree on some of the facts. We have to agree on all of the facts. So that's what the problem is in this whole world. Lies.
Yeah. But you know, but that's just one
Well, let
stone.
me say this. You heard of King Alfred? You heard of that? You're going to tell me you can't tell me this. Okay, you said a little bit of an answer. Now, you can't tell me that you can't see that both of these guys are charcoal black. Maybe the picture got caught in the fire, right? I don't think so. These are images of black rulership, black British royalty. They controlled Europe during that period. And you're looking at these pictures, but see, your mind tells you, no, I can't accept that. I've been taught that, Mozart and Beethoven and all of these guys are white. This is what you've been taught. If your people had another 20 years to rule the world, you would be teaching that Michael Jordan was white. The basketball player. You know why? Because what you do historically is you cover up the facts. You come in and you whitewash everything. Jesus is a black man. They know that in his hometown. But when you come to America, you go to England or wherever, he's painted as a white man. Now you want to talk about hatred and racism, that's blatant hatred and racism. In fact, if time would go on, there would be painted pictures of Martin Luther King as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Caucasian to cover up the facts that blacks were leaders, that they ruled. They teach that we're monkeys, that we have no intelligence, that we come out of Africa swinging on a tree, eat bananas, that we came over here on a boat without a sail.
Yeah.
These are the things that they teach. Let me get them.
Well, even if you've got it, there's a
King George. You heard King George, but you heard King George.
civilization and heritage, even without, if you didn't say that Beethoven and Mozart.
You
know, we have the facts. Yeah, but the difference, we have the facts.
The facts make sense.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been in the British Museum?
Yes.
Did you see this picture in the British Museum?
This one?
This one right here. That one, that statue was in the British Museum. When you come in the British Museum, you see a statue in it. See their face? See they were black? They were brown chocolate color on the face. You see it on them. You see some of it still on it.
Yeah.
On the face here.
So can I run down a list of prominent historical figures and you tell me if they were white or black?
That was in the British Museum. This and that over there is a portrait
So you're
of
saying,
Septimius Severus.
That's what we're saying, what the facts say.
Well, the facts are shown.
See, this is not a envious thing.
This is King George
Let me
again.
ask this question first.
Showing as a light-skinned black man. That's King George of England. The one that they fought for independence.
You see him as a white man. See? That's what you see him as, but there are images of him. The original images of him are as a black man. But in this book, it tells you that this image was whitewashed. That's not a problem. But look, if they took the Son of God, Jesus, and they whitewashed his image, which we know that the white image, do you happen to know who that white person is that's hanging on the cross? That's classified as Jesus. You're from Oxford, you should know this.
Cesare Borgia.
Oh, give the man a hand.
Oh, good.
See this guy. portray the new image of the new,
That's true.
the new Jesus Christ in the early 1400s because of his father, Rodrigo for Jesus, Pope Rodrigo for Jesus, decided that his wicked son would become the new image of Jesus. Why? Prior to that, all of the images of Jesus throughout the Middle East, Europe, all over the world were black. Everybody knew that Jesus was black. Everybody knew that the Jews were black. White men were not in the deserts of Egypt. They were the pyramids.
So why is it, shall I go back?
Certainly, well, yes. No problem.
Shall I go back to my seat?
Certainly.
Yeah.
If you want to sit right there.
Well, if you want to sit down, it doesn't matter. If you want to bring your chair close, it doesn't matter.
Bring a chair.
Bring a chair for it.
We should,
Bring a chair.
We got all day. Take your time. Take a deep breath and take your time.
stay where I am.
You want to stay there? Wherever you choose.
Yeah.
But I want to reiterate the fact that those black images that I showed you in that Oxford Illustrated history book, black and white, listen to me good. I've taught at Columbia University. I want you to understand that. And he has taught them. The white scholars at Columbia say that we have the truth. Columbia University is known as one of the most prestigious universities in the United States. I think you're aware of that. They have agreed with what we're saying here, but we know that certain inquiry minds that learn about this have also been taught to cover it up and to act as though you don't know what's going on. But we know damn well that you know, being an Oxford student, I know beyond a shadow of doubt that you know in your heart that we have the truth. And you can sit there and pretend until you have a stroke that you don't know what I'm talking about. But you know you saw the truth today. You know that. You can leave here and lie to whoever you want to lie to until you drop dead and come back in the earth. But you know you were told the truth today.
And if you go down to Westminster Avenue, you been there?
Yes.
You've been to Westminster Avenue. When you walk in there, you see the images on the floor. You see small, short caskets on the floor. And the images on them is black. Then when you go to Mary Queen of Scots, you see her laying on a coffin, the image of her, and you see black on her face, the black chocolate that they put on her face. Just like they did in Egypt when they were painting images. And all over the world, they painted their color on them. And on our hands, you cannot deny it. Then when you go and you see Henry VIII, and you see him black, and you see the chocolate on his face, and you see where they try to write some of it down, but his hands has got the complete chocolate on it too. And as one of his queens standing next to him, chocolate, you cannot deny it. That you cannot deny.
Quick question.
Sure.
I noticed you've got a couple of video cameras going. Are you taping this as well?
Certainly for security reasons and so on and so forth.
Could we get copies of those tapes to help with our cutting?
Well, don't you have a copy? You're making a copy now, you don't think?
Yeah, but to get different angles. I will give you a copy of ours.
Well, if we make more than one copy, that could be a record.
That would be a favor to us.
But I want to make another statement, that's going to sound ridiculous to you. Because you've been talking ridiculous. Let's think, in your lifetime, you were talking when you were a child. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Kris Kringle, Santa Claus, Daffy Duck, the policeman. You were talking all those things. And you grew up believing those things until you became of a certain age and you gained a certain knowledge to understand that these were myths. He's coming back. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's not going to put a hand on it.
No, don't worry about it.
You're in safe hands while you're in here. He's a human being, so he has to wander around and, he has to do what other human beings do. But he's speaking with me right now. And I want to bring out another very point, a very great point, historical point concerning history, and that is that the Vikings. I have a book in my hand, it says Cultural Atlas of the Viking World. When you read this book from front to back, and you look at the icons in it, you clearly see the Vikings children in England are not being taught that Columbus discovered America.
Now I think that they told the Vikings with the...
Am I talking to Bill Clinton or who am I speaking to here? I'm supposed to be speaking to an Oxford educated man. You sound like a politician.
I think they talk about this.
I think that you are wrong.
I think they say the Vikings.
I think that the lie is continuing. They still celebrate Christmas in England, don't they? I can't hear you. Don't they celebrate Christmas in England?
Yes.
Oh, well, why did it take so long to answer that?
You
I mean, you act as though there's a man. I mean, I'm asking you simple questions.
give me a hard time, though.
I'm not giving you a hard time.
You give me such a hard
I'm
time.
not giving you a hard time. I'm asking you, do they still celebrate Christmas? I'm asking you very simple, direct questions without using any profanity, without bringing forth any threats, without disrespecting you on any level. Do they still celebrate Christmas in England? The answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Do they still celebrate Christmas all over the world? Yes. Is Christmas the truth?
You're browbeating me slightly. Little bit.
I'm browbeating you?
Slightly, a little bit.
So in other words, by telling you the truth, I will become your enemy.
No, not at all.
Well, you just attacked me verbally. You said that I am browbeating you. Listen, I happen to be an expert in the English language. I'm very good with words. I can speak to you in a completely different language. I can start talking to you like a lawyer. You need what I'm saying. Or I can talk to you like a little ghetto black. Say, yo, man, you understand what's up, yeah? And I still can lose you there. Or I can talk on a very high intellectual level above your head. I have that ability. But I'm not going to do that because that would be showing off. I'm here to talk to you on a level that you can understand me, and I can understand you, and we can understand each other, and we can both understand God's word. You can understand that?
Yes.
And I want him to read one biblical passage to you that will clarify what I'm saying.
I'm reading from the Holy Bible, from the book of Jeremiah, the 16th chapter, from the 19th verse.
Watch yourself, we don't want you to fall, although we have insurance. We don't want you to break your neck.
Okay?
And if any of you have to go to the bathroom or want to drink of water, you know, go ahead, go to the
Okay, from the Holy Bible, Jeremiah, the 16th chapter, verse 19, says this: O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction.
We are in the day of affliction now. Blacks are being attacked all over this country randomly, like the wild animals out of the jungle. And nothing is being done about it. And half of the news is not even being reported. What you saw happen to Mr. Diallo is just one incident that was reported out of literally perhaps even thousands. You have a very Hitler-type police force here that believes that when they see a black man or a black woman or a child, they're not human, they have no rights, and they can be treated as though they don't exist. You can just take out your weapon and fire at them. This is the attitude that they've developed here. But this attitude has gotten them in a lot of trouble with God.
It says, the nations shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth.
And you just came over here from England, you know, supposedly, you're from England, and you're interviewing us. You're part of that nation. The nation shall come unto thee. You're sitting before us now.
And shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies.
Before your life ends on this earth, you're going to realize that this day you will talk the truth, regardless how much whitewashing you were given throughout Oxford University or any other university that you studied at and learned from, or any secret society that you might be a member of. You're going to find out if you don't already know, which I suspect you do know, because you guys are experts. I have to take my hat off to you. You're experts in denial, experts in covering up the truth, experts in pretending. You're the great pretender. You pretend as though you don't know, when the entire time you do know, and you hide the fact that you do know, that you might continue to destroy the fact of those that do know. We know that you know. So the truth is,
What do I know?
you know the You know